Hello! Today we've got another extreme look for you because I felt like doing a water inspired look. It's raining really heavily today, so yeah, water. It's not exactly wearable, but you know, maybe for Halloween or whatever if you just feel like playing with face paint. Yeah, and I felt like playing with glitter as well because I love glitter, so yeah, this is what my version of a water fairy demon thing maybe looks like. Anyway, let's get started. So after the base, which today was only concealer and powder, I used this face paint palette by Kryolan to paint the waves on my cheeks and on my forehead and on my chin. Pretty much I just used them as shapers. I'm just using a regular eyeshadow brush for this because it's water based anyway, so you know they're easy to clean. And you could do this completely symmetrical. Personally, I was like, waves are natural and nature is very rarely completely symmetrical. So yeah, I didn't do it symmetrical, I just made them look on each side as I felt it looked best. Then on my forehead I did manage to actually get the middle wave in the exact center. And you could really drag this up into your hair to get a complete full look, but I washed my hair the day before and I didn't want face paint in my hair. So I figured I'd just put a necklace over it later. And also dragged it down my neck a little bit. And this part is quite difficult to see, especially right below the ears. So I pretty much just guessed where the waves were that I had to fill in. And then with a fluffy blending brush and a lot of water, I actually used really watered down face paint, white face paint, to make the waves look more like waves. So I pretty much just dabbed it on there and then blended it into the base of the wave. And I pretty much tried to make every wave look, you know, the same style. So yeah, just keep adding and blending until it looks fine. And if you, like me, have a microdermal, do make sure to not get face paint into it. And then for the eyes I started out with the base, not with my regular eyeshadow brush because I just used that for the face paint. But yeah, I just used the base on a smaller brush this time. And then for eyeshadows I used the BH Cosmetics 120 color palette, first version. And pretty much the eyeshadow look is a very easy one. I just used an angled brush and the darkest shade of blue I could find in the palette and just started blending it out from the outer corner of the eye. I would have liked it to be a little bit darker, but it didn't go darker than this unfortunately. And then a paler blue shade in the center of the eye. And I'm pretty much just completely disregarding the crease at this point. And then in the inner corner I used an even paler shade of blue. And as usual, if you don't have this eyeshadow palette, you can just use other shades of blue, like other eyeshadows. But I really wanted to use this palette because I haven't used it in quite some time, I think. But yeah, anyway, then I used a very pale blue shade to fill in my eyebrows. I didn't want them to stand out too much, I just still wanted some color in them. And then using blue face paint and a little tiny eyeliner brush, I did a winged eyeliner. You could also just use blue eyeliner for this. Come to think of it, I do have blue eyeliner, but yeah. I was using the face paint anyway. And I also filled in the inner corner a little. Then for the waterline I just used a white eye pencil. This one is by Peggy Sage. As usual, by the way, I'll list everything I used down below in the description box. And then I used a purple mascara. This one is by Essence, but I don't think they still have it. But a lot of brands like Miss Sporty and all have purple eyeliners and mascaras is the point. Yeah, a lot of brands have those these days. And the whole point was that I wanted to actually make my eyelashes stand out less by making them a little bit paler. Like I wanted them to be there, but like to have volume, but not a very, you know, dark color. Yeah. Then I used glitter. This glitter comes from eBay. It was in a set of like 60 jars of glitter. And a makeup setting spray by Makeup Revolution. And yeah, I just used that with the same brush that I used for the face paint originally to dab on some glitter. Especially on the tips of the waves, like the white part of the waves. Because there's no such thing as too much glitter. And yeah, there's also still a little bit of face paint left in it, giving it a slightly, you know, blue tint to it when it touches the skin, the brush I mean. And I pretty much just did some more highlighting with it, just to give it some extra blue. And then lastly I also put some glitter onto my eyelids. And the whole idea with the setting spray, by the way, it just makes the glitter stick a little bit, and it just gives a very nice touch of glitter onto anything you touch with it. Then I use these flat back pearls, which I got from a budget store, and liquid latex. It has no brand on it, but it was really cheap. I'm just using it as glue. And I'm pretty much just following like where my teeth, like upper and lower jaw, meet together. Not sure if I'm explaining it right, but you know, you see what I mean. And then I also put it on my forehead and on my nose a little bit. And yeah, I did use different sizes. Like there's 3 different sizes on these sheets. So yeah, I just started out with a big one in the center and then went on the smaller ones. And I tried to make these look as symmetrical as possible. And I also put a few on my chin, by the way, but I managed to do that completely off screen. So yeah, I have no footage of that. But there's also 3 pearls on my chin. And then for lipstick I use this one by Makeup Revolution. It's the, what's its name? From the Unicorns Unite lipsticks, Horn of Magic. A pale blue shade. First I was thinking of using a darker one, but I don't know, I think a pale one looked better. And yeah, then that's the completed look. So I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope you had fun watching it. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye! And yeah, it was just like, well, as you can see, I'm just showing this in real time because I was seriously amazed at how easy this product goes.